Uh, Hi, everyone. This is the last session of today, and this is not the last, but I mean not the least. Session is about a voice from the young and around the world. So I've been always thankful for the KAIST because whenever KAIST has a conference or events, they allocated some time for the youth and voice from the young. So thank you so much for that. So we have a very, today distinguished guest from KAIST students and also all the entrepreneurs, the living legend or soon to be a living legend for this climate related issues. So this is the session, and we have chosen the themes for this session is exploring climate related entrepreneurship and what we expected more. I'll be the moderator. So my name is Byung-il Jang. Very nice to meet you. I'm the founder and CEO of the Green Idea Lab, which you never heard of. It's this consulting firm. I give consulting services and advisory services to those who are willing to achieve carbon neutrality. Yeah, okay. So very nice to meet you. And from the side, Kim Hang-seok, I'm going to introduce for you briefly, right? And you will all have the chance to make your comments. So Kim Hang-seok, let me shift the show, right? He's also founder and CEO of the many companies. He's the real entrepreneurs. So he's CEO of KCSTS and Mangler, and also what is that last one?
Dream sharing.
Dream sharing. Yes, he has three. Wonderful companies right now, and we have Shalar, Gertrude. Do I pronounce it right? Yes. All right. Thank you. She's from Ghana, and she's the student at KAIST Social Entrepreneurship MBA. It's belongs to the KOICA program. Yes. Okay. And we have Ms. Duan Hong Thi. She's from Vietnam, and she's also the same course, right, at Social Entrepreneurship MBA. And we have Im Jung Nim, and she is the founder and CEO of the Farmers Basket, and she's a student at your SEMBA, right, a Social Entrepreneurship MBA. And we have a next guest, Jo Sung-in. She's soon to be the founder of CEO for some company. So she's now a student for the Green Business Program at KAIST. And final panelist, she is the Jung Ji-hyun. She's also founder and CEO of Mushy M, right? The company named Mushy M. Also the students at Impact MBA at KAIST. So these are the panel discussions today. And let me, start by welcoming Mr. Hang-seok Kim for his inspiring story. Okay. So the floor is yours. Mrs. Flicker.
Thank you for the introduction. We'll sit in to the presentation. Standing in front of professors always creates too much suspense, as an entrepreneur. So, feel like a dissertation defense. So. My name is Hang-seok Kim, and it says next, but I don't know how to do it. Okay, got it. Title is Carbon Reduction and the UN Sustainable Development Goals. It's two supposed to be work as intertwined, but at the field, it works separately. Like NGOs and ODA project partners always go after the UN Sustainable Development, UN SDGs, but then these carbon reduction developers always go only the carbon reductions. But the design is supposed to work intertwined. So let me explain about that. But before, as Mr. Jang mentioned, I established 3 companies, and still I'm managing it. People always ask me how. Just have less sleep. You can always do it. And I begin with Dream Sharing. Dream Sharing is a non-profit social coup, and it's for I initiated for the helping the neighbors, youngsters who are underprivileged, and somehow I got a donation from SK Innovation, and then they asked me to go to Vietnam and initiate a social enterprise. I said, why not? I didn't even know it was planting mangrove trees, and I never been to Vietnam until that point. So I just went there, and before I mention about the second company, Mangrove, he said mangrove, but then my Vietnamese employees always pronounce it as a mangrove. Let me explain about my baseline of my entrepreneurship. The first is time. I should say longer, better. If a plan is longer, if I do more slowly, makes less risk, less mistakes. And also, when I do something longer, then it creates more sincerity and integrity. This is not new. Actually, I learned from here in KAIST when I was attending this class. And the second is unlimited stakeholders. When I plan about stakeholders, who is the beneficiaries, who is the buyer, who is the investors, who is my community leaders. But then more and more stakeholders actually creates more entrepreneur business opportunity, because when I do the business, I always look for the modal point, MODA, yeah? The modal point. So when there's more people and more parties, I see the more conflicts and the point where we can, see the business opportunities. And third is data. I think the numbers don't lie, and also numbers give me what I'm doing. It shows me my performance. So these are the three things I do my business based on. So next is that's where Javin is located. It's like 100 kilometers below southward from Ho Chi Minh City. Takes about 4 hours. And the right side picture is the ladies who wearing, 3 ladies wearing the green shirts are my employees. And we took picture in front of my company in Javin when United Way Worldwide visited from United States and from Hanoi. I get fund from United Way. And I do only have a female employees in Vietnam, and they are all Vietnamese. First, when I initiate, I asked my Korean employees to go to Vietnam and to do the business, but then it always failed because we have lack of knowing the culture and the lack of networking. So I decided to hire a Vietnamese employee, and she asked me, can we actually hire more Vietnamese female officers, the employees, because in countryside in Vietnam, it has a less chance for the females to have a decent office job. So I said, why not? You are the COO, and so just hire. So now doing pretty good. Actually, last 3 years, I was not able to visit Vietnam because of COVID-19, and the company actually grew a lot more than when I'm there. So she always asked me to just don't come to Vietnam. Yeah. And one thing about knowing the culture is like, you see on the right top corner, the building, there's 3 squares. Do you know what that is? Mr. Zhang, do you know what that is? On the right top corner, does it have a laser pointer? Okay, it does, yeah. Okay, right here.
I don't know what it is.
It's for the bird, swallow. Okay, in Vietnam, people actually make a portion of their house for the nest of a swallow, bird nest, 제비집. Yeah, and then they collect and then sell it. So if you go to downtown of Javin, there's the biggest gold color building is owned by somebody who collects and sells the bird nest to China. So this is something like knowing the culture of the region. There's no way we can figure out. You have to go there and live there and meet the people who live there. And this is the cellular image of Javin. Do you know what this is? That's most Koreans said, actually. Actually, this is shrimp farm. So Javin, it's the 80% of Vietnam's shrimp export actually is from the Mekong Delta area. In Korea, we import shrimps from 3 countries, like China, Ecuador, and Vietnam. So when you are in Korea eating shrimp and it's from Vietnam, it's a highly possibility that it's from Jabin, where my office is. And because it's a brackish water, that means like a seawater plus river water put together, because then you use less antibiotics when the water has a certain level of salt level. But that means that that region, whole Mekong Delta area region is the altitude is low and is very vulnerable. But the problem is Mekong Delta area, just like other Delta area, it's we call rice bowl of Vietnam. All the crops and the vegetation, like the farmings from this Mekong Delta area feeds whole Vietnam, not only Vietnam, to the other countries nearby, neighboring countries. So the problem is when the sea level rise, what's going to happen is, I don't know, I mean, I'm mentioning this like 100 times, like 1,000 times, people doesn't listen to me, but then DiCaprio mentions one time, tweeted, and everybody studies about it. So yeah, that's the point. And that's why SK asked me to go there and then start planting mangrove trees. I'm doing that, and wow, okay, that's the tree. Mangrove trees, and that's, you know, those separate ones up there, that's all the mangrove trees I've been planting for the last 6 years. And that's my workers planting mangrove trees.
Why do you plant them? Like, what's the purpose? What do they do?
A very good question, actually, yes. Okay, since you mentioned about the carbon offsets. Okay, the companies, actually no, when first the companies did it for as a CSR program, because planting mangrove trees certainly gives biodiversity and it's reforesting it. So it being cut out because of shrimp farms, and then we just bring it back to retrofitting to the original condition, so which is good. And also, you know, more and more mangrove trees on the coastline, you can prevent like a tsunami. In Indonesia, the academic professors find out that like a 15 minutes you can hold for, and that's a long time for when disaster happens. And also it prevents the salt water coming into the inland, which is very important for the farmers. And also the carbon reduction, blue carbon. And I know like Microsoft planted like 100,000 million trees, but then it burned in like Seattle area. But then these mangroves, you know, we don't have to worry about wildfire because it's in the water. Yeah, so that's one thing. So we do the reforestation and afforestation, and also I create lots of education materials for the kids and also the government officers about the disasters and about climate changes and about the mangrove trees. And this is like a few weeks ago, like SK, which is the biggest donor for our company, actually visited. They usually come like twice or three times a year and then do the mangrove planting together. And this is a very, very unique thing because before we planted trees on the coastline, but then now we are planting the trees on shrimp farm. By planting mangrove trees in the shrimp farm, the shrimp farmers use less antibiotic, those kind of medicines, use less pesticides, and also the mangrove trees creates the nutrients for the shrimps, so which is good. And also, you know, trees, planting trees, nobody oppose about it. We all love trees. So, and yeah, why I was in Korea, not able to visit my company. Yeah, my employees in Vietnam, they made a contract with United Way. They made a contract with CMA CGM, like APL Logistics, Hapag-Lloyd. These are all like you know, one of the biggest these commercial shipping companies in the world. Yeah, and doing good. And recently we added the Bell for good. It's a French food company. You're probably known for like a Laughing Cow cheese cubes that sells. And my last company is called KCCTS. It's says a carbon trade standard. We trade carbon credits. But this is the thing that I believe. When we do carbon reduction properly, UN SDGs are fulfilled. Not all 17, but at least few, like 3, 5, 6. When we do UN SDGs well, then carbon are reduced in that region. So I believe in this, and this is supposed to happen. And to me, this is the modal point. That's where I'm standing. And I'm doing business in India, Nepal, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Ghana, Ethiopia, and Vietnam. And these are the fields that I'm doing business. I provide a special kind of bamboo. By the way, bamboo is not tree, even though it's in Korean it's tenamu, but it's not namu. It's not tree. So we provide this special kind of bamboo, and also the LED lighting replacement, and fuel replacement project, and biomass, as a professor Sean had told previously. And also we do micro gasifier supply project, which I will briefly explain about it, and mangrove forestry and bio DAC and bio CCUS, and provide alternative bricks to the people. And this is the called TLUD. It's a micro gasifier, and there's only two entities who does this project. One is Atmosphere in Germany. They do this project and they provide carbon credits to Lufthansa, or Mercedes-Benz, or BMW. It's a non-profit organization in Germany. And the other one is KCSTS and EcoNexus. We're working together. By the way, EcoNexus is also established by KAIST alumni. So we're working together. And this project fulfills 8 UN SDGs. Why I'm emphasizing about UN SDGs? The current carbon credit market is failing, as Professor Sean mentioned about it, and only those highest quality carbon credits can survive. And what is highest quality? Is the how many tons reduced? Is the methodology? No, it's the people. Because whole idea about these carbon reductions and carbon credit trading is about and is designed by United Nations is for helping the underdeveloped or least developed countries. So it has to be, the beneficiary has to be the people who is living there. It's like a Microsoft and all these global companies paying money for it. They gain the carbon credit, and who getting the benefit from it? It's the people. But now it's not working that way. That's the problem. So my idea is to help them, to make them to earn money, to all the benefits has to go to them. And this is the micro gasifier. People probably say, like, isn't it cook stove? Looks like cook stove. She's cooking it. Yeah, it is. But then the whole idea of micro gasifier is making the charcoal at home while they are cooking. So it's earn while you cook. So they make charcoal from the wood, and then while they're cooking it, they're making it charcoal, and they can sell it. So this area is West Bengal in India. They usually spend like a 20% of their monthly income for buying the firewood. But then now they don't have to spending money for it because they are actually making money from making charcoal and selling it. And while they're making charcoal, it creates heat, so they can cook using no money at all. So that's the basic idea. And to fulfill more local employment, and especially for the women in that area, I made the factory in that region, and also and this is the picture. Like, this is the baseline. That's like 3 stone. The previously they used, and you can see that it creates lots of smoke. And this is at home using the micro gasifier TLUD, and that's almost no smokes. And then they come up with this charcoal, and there's a buyers of charcoal who's buying it, and then they bring it to the big cities. So, and also, why the charcoal is important? When you provide cook stoves in Africa, they used to use the 3 stones. And usually it's the ladies who is cooking it. When they're cooking it, they don't have to cut the wood when using the 3 stones. They can just use that long piece of wood, just keep feeding it. But then when these people bring a cook stove and then ask them to use it, they don't want it to because they have to cut down the wood and making work more harder. So that's why like a few months ago there was like a scandal of cook stove carbon credits because nobody using it at all. Now that's why I initiate this one because they are using it because they have to make money from selling charcoal. So and providing charcoal is also one of the it's a carbon credits thing because it can replace other things like previously using the low quality core and replacing it to charcoal. So that's how we design it. And so basically, the whole idea about this carbon credit, it's like you have to know the baseline, do the math, but then you need to know the culture and the society and the neighboring who is there and who you will aim these benefits for. And you have to just make sure the whole idea of carbon credits for the people in underdeveloped or least developed country, people living in there. So we have to design on something that's helping them to make it as the highest quality carbon credit. And yeah, that's my, yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Hang-seok. I met him like 10 years ago at KAIST. We went to KAIST together, and we're in like a different major. But he's been always like motivation for me to move forward in this sector, sustainability, and so thank you so much. A lot of lessons, and especially the lesson without CEO, the business is still going on, right? Yeah, it's a good lesson.
Yeah, it's working better.
All right. So speaking of, let's just talk about a little bit more about what Hang-seok has delivered. There were some challenges, right? And you are trying to find a way to address the challenges. So because his business is related in Vietnam, we have fortunately we have our panel from Vietnam. So Duan Hong, would you share your thoughts on his business and any ideas?
So firstly, I want to thank you for your meaningful experience presentation, and also thank you for doing your business in Vietnam. So firstly, may I ask our professor and professional here, have you ever been in Vietnam before? So actually now I'm studying in South Korea, but I feel like two countries very close, and I'm very happy when study here, and then in the near future come back to Vietnam and contribute as much as I can for the both country and the partnership. So come back to the social enterprise of Hang-seok. So firstly, that you are doing the social business in agriculture sector. So I think that it's have a big potential because it could be among the top priority of the Vietnamese government, and especially in a very friendly environmental way. But however, you do face some challenges that you have mentioned, because I think as you're doing contribute to social value in a foreign country, you might be possible to face some problem with networking, with contact to channel or grow your business. So based on my understanding, I think that I want to point out three key important keys about it's very highly appreciated for the successful social enterprise in Vietnam. They are development potential, the regionality, and also the companionship of the government. So I believe that the Vietnamese people, they are very hardworking, and they are willing to learn the new technique or the new knowledge. But if we want them to stay with our business for a very long time, we need to show them the value, and especially connect to the nature of their local areas, because we embrace our culture so much. We embrace our value of the society. So the root culture in my country is about the village. So if we can connect them, we will be able to work with them for a long time. And another thing is we should like fit our social enterprise with the culture and be accompanied with the local government and also with maybe with the trustful social and a local social enterprise in Vietnam. And the second thing I want to mention is about the branding. So there is so many organizations in Vietnam, such as Vietnam Business Council for Sustainable Development or the Center for Social Initiative Promotion, and so many other organizations. They are very supportive and active in the community of social enterprise. So I think that based on your challenges, so don't isolate ourselves, but try to reach out to these organizations because we all try to contribute the good for the society. So this is my opinions. Yeah.
Thank you, the one. When are you gonna graduate from this school?
Hopefully December.
Hopefully December this year, right? Hangzhou, are you planning to hire or invite her as a CSO for you?
Oh yeah, certainly.
Sort of great. Thank you. Any comments for?
Oh yeah, and thank you for the advice. There are about like 10,000 Korean companies in Vietnam, and Vietnam is becoming the next like China, isn't it? Like becoming world factory, and I think Vietnam needs to focus more on the nature and environment to prevent any more of harmful things happens to the nature of Vietnam.
All right. So it's enough for Hangzhou's story, and we have other great panel here. So Jihyun, so I was told that you have lived and experienced in many like African countries like Ethiopia and South Africa, right? Is it correct?
Yes.
Would you share your story about living in there and what you are doing right now?
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Jihyun Chung, and I'm from South Korea. And I'm holding a startup company called Mush-In. And I'm going to share my story in Africa. Okay. So basically, I have a bachelor in mushroom. So I was, through the KOICA project, I was sent to Africa, especially in Malawi, for the project with a goal for the local farmers' income generation and also producing the nutritious agriculture products through the mushroom production. And since then, I've stayed in Africa for 5 years, especially not only in Malawi, but also South Africa, Botswana, and Zambia, and Ethiopia, and the east and southern part of Africa. And during my staying in Africa, I witnessed how climate change impacts in Africa, because I faced a serious drought at the ground, and I saw the unexpected floods and how it impacts on the farmers and their harvest. So it leads the crop price fluctuation. So it leads the farmers, the local people can't afford the basic crops, basic food. So, and physically their staple food is maize. And for the maize cultivation, African rainforest is being slashed and burned to turn into the farmland. So I saw it's the major reason for the climate change, and also because it accelerated the carbon emission. So, and also it leads to the climate change. Also leads to the food insecurity. So So my project, mushroom cultivation, it requires the few resources, such as the small land. It can be cultivated like vertically, so it requires the small land and small amount of water and small amount of power. So it was feeding for the providing not only for the oxygen but also for the food in Africa. So this experience makes me to start up the business.
Okay. Oh, yes, really great. It's because your business has been started on the a foundation of what you have experienced in Africa. Just quick questions. What brought you there? How did you visited Africa at first? What was the reason?
Oh, actually, it was that Koika project was for the from my professor's project, Koika project. Yes.
All right, good. Okay, so I think Jian has pointed out very good things. I mean, issues, which is climate resilient agriculture, right? I personally believe that this is a chance for the future entrepreneurs to penetrate in. So, if Scheller, you have any thoughts on that? Because since our business is happening in Africa and everything.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Jan, and well said, Gian. Talking about climate agriculture and its resilience, based on my experience in Korea here so far and comparing to African countries, of which Ghana is no exception, I have conceived an idea of which I will very soon implement it when I get back to Ghana. That is waste management. I'm very soon going to implement a project in that. Improper waste management in Ghana is causing a lot negative effects. When we cast our minds back on June 3rd, 2015, there was a heavy downpour in Ghana, which there was a massive flood with tender fire that claimed about 150 lives, not to talk about properties and other things. This is due to improper planning and a whole lot, improper waste management. So I have decided that since governments cannot handle this challenge alone, there is a need for private company involvement. Though in Ghana, we already have some few private waste management companies, but that is not enough. They are not being able to take up this challenge. So I have decided that if I get back to my country, I'm going to start and also extend it to other African countries to at least reduce the effects of these climate actions in my country and Africa as a whole. And Mr. Kim also mentioned about charcoal and its activities that they use. In Africa, we use charcoal a lot. When you go to the urban areas, they actually, most of them are into these charcoal businesses. And for that matter, they cut down trees. And anytime it is raining with kind of winds, it's actually unroof their buildings by rendering them homeless. And this is due to improper education about climate actions. So there is a need for education about the consequences and causes, and then also a behavior change towards our own actions. So there will be a need for the government and private concerned citizens to organize kind of educational programs to educate the public using the various platforms to let them be aware of their behavior. Things like when you pour your waste inside the gutters, the consequences that it will cause. Maybe the public is still not aware of this, so there is a need for education about climate actions and its consequences. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think we are all here, audiences, we are all, witnessing how powerful one woman can change the world, right? So, I don't know, when did you think you would be, entrepreneurs? I mean, when did the idea just start, come out? Is this back in your time in Ghana, or you were started studying in here, Korea?
Thank you very much, Mr. Jan. I actually conceived this idea in our entrepreneurship class by Professor Pike.
Who's
I
the
don't know.
Professor Park?
Professor Pike.
Oh, Baek 교수님. All right. Okay.
Yes,
Oh.
yes, yes. And she is into agriculture, and he too is into agriculture. So I'm going to partner with them. I'm going to actually use this waste. I'm going to recycle the waste. And then the food aspect of the waste, I'm going to recycle them into fertilizers and sell to them. And then the plastic aspect of the waste, I'm going to use it to recycle into anything plastic like bottle and then sell it to the society.
Thank you. Education is really important, right? Really, really. So let us talk about a little bit more about education. Jungnim, did you have any special an experience, and what do you think about the educations for entrepreneurs?
Well, I think most of you will agree with me. I have very strong belief that importance of educating and engaging the public in fight against climate change cannot be overstated. And the public awareness and understanding are the key to driving meaningful actions and fostering collective responsibilities. And by prioritizing the education at all levels, we definitely can empower the individuals or the next generations to become environmentally conscious leaders and change makers. And as entrepreneurs, we play a very important and unique role in driving change. And I think we can first start off with something small, like organizing workshops, seminars, or campaigns to educate the public, especially the young people, about climate science, sustainable technologies, or practical solutions. If we can go further, we can probably create platforms for dialogue and collaborations to foster shared responsibilities and encourage individuals to take action into their own lives and communities. And also, we can develop maybe like user-friendly apps or online platforms, community-based initiatives that offer guidance on waste reduction strategies, renewable energy options, sustainable living, and etc. For example, maybe we can have a mobile app like that connects users to local sustainable businesses, or maybe telling them tips on reducing carbon footprints or tracking environmental impact. And I'm sure that these can encourage the broaden adoption of eco-friendly practices, and these will eventually lead to encourage individuals to make environmentally conscious decisions in their daily lives.
Thank you. I couldn't agree more. But by the way, where was it? Where did photo taken? It was.
So I love nature. I want these green to ever last. So I love backpacking.
Is
So
it
it's-
Everlast?
No, no,
okay,
of course not. It's in Gapyeong.
Oh, 가평.
Yeah.
경기도 가평.
Yeah,
All right.
it's an hour away from here.
Oh, looks great, and then you're happier in the photo here.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. I totally agree. The education and public awareness from the education is important, very important factors that not only for like fostering, the entrepreneurship and but also for the like climate, related policies to be more effective. So it's very important. So whenever we, implement some policies for doing some renewable energy, projects there in the field, there is always a lack of public awareness. So we have to, it takes more time and cost. So I think it's all, really related. And now we have final, panel here, right, Sung-in? We've been talking, since we started this panel discussion, we have, talking a lot about the challenges and difficulties. And you are soon to be like entrepreneurs. Are you still interested in, starting your own business? Isn't it scary?
My answer is definitely yes, after hearing all the challenges. And yeah, so I think I have to introduce what my business idea is. Basically, my business idea focuses on addressing the water scarcity issues in rural areas of developing countries that has limited or no access to the clean water. And if you ask me how I got inspired about the issues, I think I have to share a little bit about myself, including my characteristics, vision, and my previous work experience first. First of all, I'm a person who really enjoy learning something new and challenging myself because I think life is a kind of journey of personal growth by learning from others and various experiences. And secondly, my vision is to contribute to making the world a better place. And every step in my life has been geared towards finding the answer to the question of how I can make a positive impact. And to get the answer, I started my career in the field of international development. And I mostly worked on the official development assistant projects. And through this work, I had abundant opportunity to meet different people from different countries and backgrounds. And I also had the chance to learn and study diverse sectors such as agriculture, of course, water and hygiene, and transportation, energy, and so on, all of which are related to climate issues. And through this work, I kind of realized that there is a significant role for businesses to play and engage actively in solving those issues related to climate change. And because businesses are very good at adapting to rapidly changing markets and utilizing their resources and technologies effectively. So I thought there is a room for business to get involved in solving those climate-related issues. That's how I got inspired in the first place. And I'm currently enrolled in the course of Green Business and Policy. And while I'm at the KAIST, I'm looking for the next steps to develop my business models and make some details related to my ideas. That's it.
All right, still, thank you. Just, give a big round of applause for her successful future, right? Great. Because since I listened to your story, motivations, I really wondered, I should have asked you at the beginning, what motivates you, Hang-seok, to start, and to live life like this?
Oh, well, what motivated me was anger, actually. Anger. Yeah, the whole design about this carbon reduction and carbon credits are actually for the people in these underdeveloped or least developed countries. But then, this benefit was not going to them. And to me, actually, when somebody asks me why I begin this business, I always thought about the circular economy. To me, it's right now the economy is linear, in a sense where we dig out this fossil fuel from the ground, we burn it, and we bring it up to the atmosphere. It's linear, so we have to make it circular. And at that circular, 2 points meets the modal point is where the people are, and these people, in a sense of carbon credits, are this us. But then we are not getting any benefit from it. And also, when this gas price goes, everything goes up, the inflation, we are the one who is paying for it. So, and to me, this makes me angry. So I tried to figure out how we can distribute, this whole idea about distribution. So have to be distributed properly. All these carbon credits or the money and whatever that is has to be distributed to the beneficiary, to the people. So what motivated me was anger and distribution. Yes.
Thank you for the unique answer. So I really, personally, I really want to address the climate change issues and other social issues, but the way now, the wise way to solve the problem is I'm gonna keep making you angry, so you can do it, right? Instead of me. So, all right. I think all of the audience is waiting for the chances to raise their questions, but still, let me just give you just one last chance to make your final, comments, right? Each of you. So, Tian, if you have any comments and your thoughts on all the sessions and anything you want to say to the world, this is the time. Yeah.
Yes, I will do promotion for my company, my own startup. And I'm holding a startup company called Mush-N from South Korea. And we are making the mushroom mycelium-based food products so that we can we aim to enhance the resilience of our food security to the changing this climate change. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Sung-in, if you have.
My answer is targeting people like me who are in very early stage of preparing for the business model. And my message is that meet people and don't hesitate to share your thoughts and ideas, because if you share your ideas, even if it's not fully organized yet, people will introduce other people that you needed, and also they will come up with very amazing questions that you have never considered, and also people sometimes even give you the right answer you are looking for. So go outside and be people and share your thoughts and ideas. That's my answer. That's my message. Thank you.
All right. Good messages, and really want to. I'm wondering if what your MBTI is, but it's kind of personal information. So yeah, please tell me later. Because it's very similar to the characteristics I have actually.
Currently,
Currently,
ENFJ.
ENFJ.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, it's perfectly same. That's why. All right. Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Well, I would like to talk about not about what I just said, but about the previous session about the gender and the entrepreneur. And I personally had some experiences with gender thing. I was in Girls in Tech, the nonprofit organization to raise awareness for women in technology. And I saw a lot of gender disparities, and it's still ongoing in a lot of in our daily life, not only in developing countries, but also within already developed countries like here or in very different countries. And I think that if women if we include more gender inclusivity is very important to solve not only the climate change issue, but a lot of different things. and then it will eventually make happy, sustainable world.
Thank you. Duan, what's your final message to deliver?
Actually, my idea is now is about like I will try to doing more research because now I'm working in a national university, and I think if there is any gap between academic and business, I hopefully can bridge that gap in the future. And I also have some some insight about the previous session, especially the first session is about how entrepreneurship can deal with the adversity situation. So there's mention about scaling up and scaling deep. It's very impressed to me. So when scaling up is more likely about finance and will be in the short term, scaling deep is more likely about how you grow the impact on the society, and it will be in the long term and leading to sustainability. So the most important thing, the implication behind that is about how you can come up with the very deep insight about something, anything with your business, with your, because you are the founder, so come up with anything that can stay with you for a long time, that can passionate you in a very long time, and that can benefit you in the long time. That's what my idea.
Thank you. Thank you for the message, Mr. Schaller. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. My last message is that I need people who partner with me to campaign for climate action and its consequences that it has for lives. People who partner with me so that we can draw or create awareness and then also clean Africa to save lives. That is all I have for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Hang Seo.
Well, my last message is like the carbon neutrality is just 4 easy steps. One is measure, and the second is to reduce, and third is offset, and fourth is report. But then this whole simple idea is not kept, and the companies are focused more on just offset, and that's why the Professor Sean Hyatt mentioned about they're just buying the carbon credit as an indulgence. But then it's supposed to be actually you have to reduce first and to measure first, but then companies doesn't do that because it just costs too much money. I guess we all need to be angry at it because it's us who's gonna change it. Just become a watchdog for these companies and the countries actually, to make it this almost impossible. Actually, to be honest, I was really shocked at Professor Sean Hyatt's message actually. It's almost impossible. It's not innovation. You have to go beyond that in order to reduce the carbon level and then to prevent 1.5, which I believe I think it's impossible to keep it. But anyway, we have to be more crazy. The entrepreneurs need to be crazy about reducing the carbons.
Thank you. Please allow me to, have some questions from the floor if you have. Yeah. Feel free to make any comments to the, entrepreneurs here. No problem. Anybody? Okay. Yeah.
This is more about my personal thought about today's session rather than questions, because first of all, I was really shocked about how women are out there talking about entrepreneurship, because I heard the keynote speech today first from Professor Lee Seung-hyun from the University of Texas that maybe including Korea, it is quite difficult for us to actually experience failure because the environment is not so good to the people who failed before. So he mentioned that it is how important it is to make the environment to accept the failure and then give some positive and constructive feedback to them. And from now on, I see those people out there, of course, men out there, but also women, 5 women is more than majority of women are out there. The thought that I have right now is that KAIST can be the very good place for those women and men and all the people to experience good failure and get some positive and constructive feedback from the class. Maybe that's how they are out there right now. So I hope those kind of environment and helpful classes and other support should be kept going on. That's my kind of hope as a student in KAIST. So it was very inspiring for me too, hearing your stories, and thank you.
Oh, thank you for your comments. Please, you said you were a student at KAIST. What's your name and what's your major?
So my name is Hyunju Shin, and I studied in Green Business and Policy program, like Songin out there. And I am also the person who learned a lot and learned how to fail, maybe, at some point. But still, I am quite confident with my knowledge and those network that I built here. So that is what I want to kind of emphasize here today. Thank you.
Thank you. You will be the next year's panel, I think. You should be. So here, maybe could you deliberate? Yes, for Professor Shun. Yeah.
I just have a similar comment. It's best session of today, and I'm extremely inspired by all 6 of you. Congratulations on your successful venture, and I hope the best for all 5 of you in your ventures, because you're out there to make a difference, but also create like an ongoing concern. I mean, a real venture that could succeed. And the last comment is, I'm just so inspired by KAIST. Wow. I mean, if only my university could produce students like this, right? So I guess this goes to Professor Park and all the other faculty here who are running this impactful business program. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Please allow me to close these sessions by echoing those key takeaways that I have learned throughout this session today. Out there, I mean, entrepreneurs who are interested in addressing these issues, please be brave and faced with all the issues that you think you have to tackle, and you think the conventional approach that's tackle were made by the major economic players. If you think it sucks, then and you think you were gonna do on your own way, please act it. Okay, please do it right now. And welcome to the World for Failure. And don't worry, it's World for Failure, so we're gonna support with all our heart. Okay, so thank you so much.
All right, so let me make just one minute closing remark, okay? So I'm standing here right now, very proud of what we've done today. I'm really proud of the big success of the KESG conference. We explored several important but less studied issues at the intersection of entrepreneurship, sustainability, and green business. I'd like to say thank you to all speakers, discussants, panelists, and session chairs who shared great insights with us and made this conference the most memorable one. I also thank all participants online and offline. I hope you found all sessions interesting, useful, and meaningful to you. KAIST College of Business has consistently emphasized the importance of doing research on sustainability and entrepreneurship, and also making contributions to international community by offering high quality education based on green business and policy, social entrepreneurship MBA, and now impact MBA program. We'll continue to strengthen our research and teaching capability, and we will continue to reach out to you, to the academic community, and to the world. So I would not say goodbye for a closing remark. Instead, let me just say, we look forward to meeting you again in the not too distant future. Thank you. Thank you. Well, the last part of the conference is taking a group photo. Okay, so all participants and guests who are here right now in this conference room, please come on up here and gather together, maybe around this between these two podiums.